What's up, y'all? What's up, Philly First 48? We got E.Ness, the Loch Ness Monster. We got the Loch Ness Monster tonight. Got the boy E.Ness, the legendary battle rapping king. The battle rapping king. You can't say Philadelphians and not name Ness. Not name Ness. You can't say. I'm talking about battle rap. I'm talking about just being a Philly legend, period.
Hey yo, it's Neutron, I don't lose no E.Ness. Kick ass, I don't use no feet. Know how to flow and abuse the beat. Your wife know how to blow, she don't use no teeth. Shit, street talking, they speak through me. My street team roll deep as a deep blue sea. Please, Dunny Bop, let me do me. It's my prerogative, let me do E. Shit, MP3, Dr. Commons, gangster. Go to war like Genghis Khan, I'm ball head. When the wind blow, change my mind and pull out P..1s on your baby's mom. Then beat the case with a baseball bat. Then turn the streets to a race car track.
Vroom, vroom.
Yeah, chump, bite my dust. Apply pressure and the pipes are bust. What he did, the fish scale had your block on tilt. The butter in the bins, the color.
Chocolate milk.
The rims. Beat this, spend half your life. Man, it look like I'm riding
on satellites.
I smoke Newport, New York, Harlem Nights. I'm a pimp like Too Short. Dog the light, they say. Rapping from Philly sound all the light. But look, nigga, that's a stereotype.
Get it right, nigga.
I get Gucci with the wave of the hand. Sneaker Uzi on the plane on my way to Japan. The man, you see me doing the big. Your little time is like Kurt Russell with Big Trouble with Lil China. Everybody throw your stick in the air. If you don't smoke, throw your drink in the air.
It's all good.
I done been around the world and back. I'll let you know when your girl get back. She'll call, nigga.
I'm just opening y'all up, man. If you don't know about Ness, the Loch Ness Monster, the battle rap fucking king, the legend.
Hey, yo, I'm so fucking hungry, my ribs is touching. Puffy put me in that crib for nothing. When I hurt my spot, motherfuckers ain't gon' give me nothing. I see what I like, great, I've been taking, I want this shit. I won't quit till my face on $100 bill, popping and still taking your coverage. You, man, goddamn that CEO. Should've never put a dog on a TV show. Knowing damn well I'ma talk greasy, yo. Dark skin cat, brown eyes, peasy fro. Head cocked to the back, yeah, clean your clock. Machine gun, big sting with the beam on top. Cream of the crop, then you the scheme with no watch. The Nina's a pop, and my street team in your block. I lean in the top. Way back, system pumping. If you ain't never been to jail, you ain't missing nothing. I get my flame in the club. Fuck a metal detector, shame. Get more brain than handle molector. My chick got a permit, she can handle the Lexus. You a gorilla, I give you a banana
for breakfast.
Flip that is, pow, back, flip that kid. Bet you never seen a clip that big. Hit that crib, lawyer the truth, dog, skip that bid. You done forced me to spaz out, grip that cig. Pow, Andy up, kidnap that kid. Group of wooden baseball bat and
Crack his ribs.
Rocking them shows like put a rock on a stroll, a baller. Rocking them, cocking them hoes. And it's sweet to get a freak on my nuts. I got the smile on the.
That's some videos right there from the Loch Ness Monster, the king of the battle rapping king, the legend, the Philadelphia legend. Listen, we got legends in Philly, y'all. I'm about to let him in, but I had to give him a proper intro. You know? Philly First 48, y'all grab y'all shirts, send them donations through, y'all, dollar. Yo, the king, the battle rap king, the Loch Ness Monster. What's up, gang? How you feeling, man?
What's up, Brody?
Oh, man, sorry about the time, man. You know how I get, man. You know,
all good. You know, I'm an old nigga. I'm an old nigga. I get sleepy. I get sleepy.
I know. I wanted to show love to like the up and coming artists real quick before we start the show. I want to do something new. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick the 3 different artists and let them play their best shit. You know what I mean? Link everybody together. What I'm trying to do is bring the city together. You know what I mean? Shout out to C Dot. I think it was the boy C Dot. He killed it. A couple niggas killed it, whatever the case may be. But look, we're gonna get right to it, man.
Right.
Like a lot of people don't know. Like you really the Philly battle king. Like, you know what I'm saying? You cannot name a Philly battle rapper and not name Ness as the top 3. And we gonna get into it and shit like that. Like, it's just like, you know what I mean? I appreciate you, man. Like, let me let the people know this, that like Ness was my second interview on the Philly First 48. You was here.
Shout out to First 48. Yeah, you already know, Matt. You already know. Nigga.
I gotta give you your roses, man. you was like my second or third interview, and I had only 22 people on, and you still show love and you told your story and shit like that, man. I will forever appreciate that, man. You ain't charging, nigga. You just you saw the vision early, man. And
I seen the vision. I seen it. I had a premonition. I seen the vision. I said, my guy Mac is gonna do big things, big things.
How you
So,
like this?
yeah,
How you
man.
like the show so far, though? Like how you like the different artists every night
Man.
and shit. How you like how we carried it and shit like
You done
that.
snowballed and nosy into a whole thing, man.
Nobody,
No, like yo, I just see the audience growing and growing and growing,
mm-hmm.
and you know what I mean. Everybody that you've interviewed so far, they sturdy and has been sturdy and told their story, and everybody just kept it so 1,000 that what's not to like about it. So, man, congrats to you and Philly's first 48 NH. I mean, free to all the guys, and you know what I'm saying. You know,
Appreciate
everybody
that.
is signed and unsigned. I see OT on his own love. Shout out to OT the real. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Quilly. Shout out to Meek. Shout out to Otis Ryder, Leave Ward, J Huff, Drama, Diamond Street King. It's just so Pound Side Pop. There's 1,000, man.
And look, imagine, wait, before we even go further, y'all, I need everybody to share the live. Share the live. I need everybody to hear this story. We about to get into it with Ness, but I need everybody. I need at least 100. And come on, we gotta show Ness some more love. And come on, and honor, like, come on, y'all. Like, I mean, share the live and let's get it up. Let's get these numbers up and whatever the case may be. But look, so imagine all the names that you name. Imagine us all coming together and shit, and making something happen for the city and shit like that. Imagine all of us coming together, Ness. Imagine that.
Man, listen, that'd be a wonderful thing. You know what I mean? I'm a testament that, the whole never give up attitude. So like I'm all for if all those names I named and some of the older vets can get together and do some more music, and we can, cross promote and do things of that nature. And I just think that wall should come down with the young artists and the old artists. We all artists. We all paint different things on the canvas, and we all love this craft. And there shouldn't be no old, young, new, old.
Nope.
In a way, has been, whatever. It should just be Philly. Whoever's popping, whoever's active, whoever's putting in the work, the leg work, whoever is putting in, that time and that the man hours and really getting busy and, I mean, just, trying to rep that Philadelphia flag that everybody reps so, like, put so high up there and put on that pedestal.
Real shit, man. That'd be dope, man. It really be a dope, man. And like I said, you definitely a GOAT, and we can make it happen. If nothing, we can make it happen. We can make it happen. Like I appreciate you because you a nigga that's willing to do a track with an up and coming nigga that's fire and shit like that, man. Like, you know what I mean? You always move different, and we respect that. We recognize that. But look, before I had you on, I was playing all your tour for the streets, your bangers, like, you know what I mean, like getting the people familiar with the E.Ness and shit like that. That like the new era that don't know and shit. You know what I mean? How you was burning down them fucking Too Raw for the Streets DVDs. But we gonna take it. We gonna bring it back some and shit. I want to know like how you come up with the name E.Ness and shit. Like where E.Ness came from and shit like that.
I didn't even know that what the name meant. I mean, my real name was Lloyd Eric Matthews. So before I went to jail in '99, my street name was L. It's just short for my real name. So make a long story short, when I went to jail, my man Dirt Dog, rest in peace, the Dirt Dog. When we got in the yard, niggas was ciphering. He was like, "Yo, my man L, my man L Ness, my man Elliot Ness," and then he just was like, in his bag doing his thing because he was mad charismatic and you had the personality of the wild talker and all that. So, and I mean, I just stuck with it. But when I got home that following year, May 17th of 2000, is when I started doing the research and finding out that it was a cop and all that. And I didn't dig that part of it. So I just, stopped saying the E.Ness and that was like for the band and shit. And then just start saying Loch-Ness. You know what I mean? That's where that came.
Now we know about the band shit, but before the band and shit, you was tearing down them fucking Too Raw for the Street DVDs. You was heating the streets up
Facts.
and shit. Like let's
Facts.
get into. I want to get into your story, your upbringing and shit. Like
Right.
I want to like let the people know. Like talk to the people and shit. The upbringing and that's the you know what I mean, the shit people don't know.
As
Like,
far as the Too Raw for the Street shit, that shit was that was Cree Forge. That was he put the call in because him and Star was real cool, and they had been doing tapes and shit and Up Cheney and all that. And Cree was like one of the first dudes I seen on the VHS cassette tapes that had material and endless freestyles out and shit like that. So my family lived down Tasker, and they from down there.
right.
So we was introduced, and we had like a hour-long cipher. And then after that, he was like convinced, like, yeah, you got the package.
Damn,
like, you got the total. You know what I mean? And then he called Star, and then the rest is history. So that's how that happened. But as far as my upbringing, you know what I mean? I moved around a lot. North Philly, West Philly, but Southwest is where I moved in Southwest in '87. So that's why I claim Southwest. But most of half my life, I grew up in North Philly on Susquehanna and Dolphin and shit. I went to Duckery. I went to Prince Hall, uptown, off Madera Avenue. So I bounced around a lot. But in 1987 is where that was like where my mom and them, that, you know, that's where they really like settled in at in Southwest in 1987. And I've been repping that ever since. But a lot of people, all you fake North Philly, no, I definitely lived in North Philly, and I definitely got folks in North Philly and family in North Philly. But I moved in '87 I moved in Southwest at a young age. So that's why I start repping Southwest. Like I hadn't had sex before I moved out Southwest. So that's why I call Southwest my home. You know what I'm saying?
Dope. And I did not I like see, you know, I be learning at the same time. I did not know Cree Forge was the one do the oop and shit. And that's why I push, you know, the importance of knowing different things and shit like that, man, because you know what I mean? We can do that type of shit now, like put certain people on in positions and shit like that. All right, so you killing the Too Raw for the streets. You know what I mean? You know, like take us back to them Barton Realist ciphers and shit like that. You know what I mean? And even
it was me, Bruno Brinks, Black Villain, Stacks Latin, Kid Cash, and Jay Brody. So we was the YHM. YHM was a variation of what the street guys in the neighborhood was doing. So we was the rapping, like it was kind of like the Dog Pound, Gangster, Click, the rappers, and the actual Dog Pound niggas. So the YHM was actual, you know what I'm saying, dude that was active in the street, and we was the, you know what I'm saying, the rapping side of what they was doing. And even though we was doing our little shit, we wasn't doing it to the magnitude they was doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
My bad. Go ahead.
So YHM stands for Young Hitmaker.
Right, go ahead. My bad, man.
Young Hitmaker, Young Hitman. So yeah, so you know what I mean? So I grew up in Southwest from '87 on.
Right.
So like, you know what I mean? But you know, niggas like, yo, he grew up down north. I did, and I got people down north, and I respect North and North Philly and all the things I learned down north. But Southwest is where I learned most of the shit that I got that I know today from. Yeah.
And you on Brinks, man. Y'all niggas was like a good duo and shit like that. Man,
Yeah.
I was just asking you know, go ahead, speak on that, because I was just trying to pull up, because what I'm trying to do now is, you know, pull different things up and shit, whatever the case may be, y'all. And we transitioning over to a podcast, y'all. So I need y'all, before we even further move on, I need y'all to send them donations to Philly First 48. It's 100 people in here. Send $1, y'all. We trying to, you know, get a building. We want to do things right and shit. But yeah, you and Bruno definitely was a good duo and shit. Talk about your chemistry and shit and different things like that. You know what I mean?
Well, early on, we was like only the main dudes out the neighborhood that rap. It wasn't too many besides the Bum Rush, which I was a part of that. And then me and Brinks ended up being a group called Animosity. And then me and Breon Dilla, which was a little bit older than me, we was a group called Headstrong. So it was like we was trying to find the chemistry and me and my man Dre Deep had chemistry. We was part of the Bum Rush, and then when that fizzled out and that didn't work out for me, I stepped off and started doing the solo thing, making solo songs on my own. Then that's when me and Brinks linked up, and we started doing a group thing, Animosity, and then that turned into the YHM, and that's how that whole thing was born. But our chemistry was crazy off the bat because, you know what I mean, just that shit. I was a skinny, dark-skinned nigga. He was a chubby, light-skinned nigga. It was that, you know what I mean, the opposites attract thing as far as music is concerned and the whole look and the image. It was like that whole thing. So we was playing with that whole imagery type thing, but we had countless endless songs and mixtapes and shit. And when I got on, I wanted to make sure that he was premiered and that he was seen and heard. And that's why I introduced him how I did on Too Raw for the Streets joint.
That was dope too. That was a dope jump.
Starface joint, yeah.
Right. So, all right, after that, man, let's speak on, you know what I mean? Because we already talked about the Too Raw for the Street shit, how you was killing this shit. But let's talk about the battle, man. Let's talk about the battle with you and Hollow, man. I know everybody saw me drop the clip and shit, whatever the case may be, of Hollow talking about it and shit. And look, let me tell people how fire, like around that time, you was on fucking fire and shit. And you know, it's honorable to let like a up and come a nigga give a nigga like Hollow Man a chance to like battle. But it's a backstory on that. And let's talk about that.
Well, we had got the phone call and everybody was at the detail shop. It was I think it was Ice City against Takedown Records. That was supposed to be the initial thing that was going on, I think. And I'm not too sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of people was in there. It was Cash Dollars, it was Bugsy, it was Snake. PD Crack was in there, Miss Jade, Freeway, Cousin E, Cree Forge, just a lot of people was in that joint. It was thick. And at first it just started off being a cipher. And then it started heating up, and after verse, it started being in battle. So like, you know, Hollow Man was repping the Paper Chasers, and then I was already heating up. Some guy had spit before me, and then I had spit, and then somebody else spit, and then I spit again, and the niggas was like kind of giving me that energy and shit. So then I think it was like I was on the end of my second rap, and that's when Hollow Man stepped up, and then we start going in, and then we had a battle, like, and then it didn't start off initially like that. Like I wasn't there to battle Hollow Man. I just was there to showcase my talent. I was fresh off this show, so I was just trying to get all the promotion, but I had no idea that it was taping. You know what I mean? The boy Jamal Hill was there, the boy that did Money, Power, Respect. He was the one filming it. So it was like a lot of big wigs in there. So I just was trying to be heard and let everybody know I was nice and that, you know, I was going to be around for a minute. Right. I just wasn't no TV reality show boy. Like I really had the total package, the good.
Right. Definitely, man. My phone went out. I need the earphones. All right. So yeah, definitely. So you know when Hollow hit that fucking that PC for calling protect each other. Y'all, first of all, the battle was y'all was going back to neck, and it was an amazing fucking battle, man. Like, if I want everybody to check out the battle, go to YouTube. If y'all didn't see that battle, Hollow Man versus fucking E.Ness, go to it, man. It's a classic battle and shit like that. And like I said, man, I wanted to know how you felt round for round with that, you know, that battle and shit, real quick.
I haven't watched it in a long time, but I know a lot of people, you know, they say he had one due to the last line. You know, I'm leaving with 3Ks like I hate niggas. You know what I'm saying? And that was the controversial part. But we was going back and forth the whole joint. Like it was like, bam, I would hit a verse of 24, maybe a 32 or 16, and he would hit a 16, 32, 24. And I would come right back, boom, and he would come right back, boom. And then as the battle went on, my verses kept getting a little bit longer, and then his verses kept getting a little bit shorter. I don't know if I'm too sure. I gotta go back and look at it, but in my mind, that's how when I play it back, that's how it playbacks in my mind. And then he just kind of left off on a hot metaphor, and I was like, ooh. And then everybody was like, oh shit. So it was like, that's the stuff legends are made of. I mean, there's no more I can say about that, man. It's niggas out here nice like that, Hollow Man, and when you in Philly, you run into people like that's on that type of skill level, and
man.
back and forth with you, and you always got to be on your A game, and had your material ready. And, you know, that's really all I can say about that.
Real shit, man. All right, well, no, all right, now, like I said, man, you was heating the city up so much. I just can remember. I go back and just like I was like we was talking earlier and shit. And I go back and I just remember me and H and you know, my brother Lil and Fine, my little
Right.
RP Lil, and we just watching Ness, like Two Off for the Streets, being a fan of Ness. Like Ness had the city on lock time after time and shit. I remember, you know, the situation with, you know what I mean, you know, MTV and making a band and shit. Like, let us know about the audition. Let us know about the backstory about that and shit real quick.
Well, you know what I'm saying? I was on Black Key Productions. Black Key is a well-known producer out of Philly. He grew up in my neighborhood, Barton Village Projects. He had a lot of dope placements, a lot of big placements for DMX and Jadakiss and Ludacris and 50 Cent. Make a long story short, we was shopping my demo. And you know, we was back and forth from negotiations with Timbaland, his B Club imprint, which was, you know, Miss J was a part of that, and I was, you know, running behind her, rapping, and she would let me freestyle when she would go up to the radio and promo her new singles and shit. And so that's like I kind of got into that side of thing by way of Black Key, and shout out to my homie man, OG man from Southwest. Well, he was managing Miss Jade and Roscoe P at the time, and Roscoe P was signed to Star Trek, and Miss Jade was signed to Beat Club. So me and Black Key had been, you know, going up to New York, fucking with Kiss, fucking with DMX Bloodline. I was talking to DMX about signing the Bloodline, and then like them next couple months, my grandmother had passed, and she always wanted me to do right in school. That's what another thing I wanted to point out. I always, you know, I come from the projects, but I always, like, I took a test to be in a good school, which was Central. So I had to get up 5:30 in the morning to go all the way to Central from Southwest and shit to go to a good school. Because my mother, she always wanted me, she always was, you know what I mean, real strict about doing real well in school. And so that helped me in my writing and writing rhymes and knowing different words and knowing big, long words and shit like that. It helped me a lot. So, just a lot of things that I picked up along the way, just crafted my style and the way I do my shit right now. So
shout out to your mom Dukes, really. Shout out to mom.
So like so that whole thing while we was shopping, that Making a Band tournament came out of nowhere, and I had befriended my man Jay Black. He was working at 103.9, and that's the radio station that Making a Band and MTV did the contest with. So he just told me to take a crack at it. I went down in audition. There was a lot of people that didn't hear me. It was like 30 seconds. I got the rap, and they went on to the next. And then as you can see on the first season of the show, Puff didn't think he had enough content to move on with the competition. They did it again. I tried to get out again in Philly at the Trocadero. They put me on the waiting call list for Philly. The rest is history.
Right. Dope.
So I went from auditioning twice to being picked first out of 40,000 to be selected for the group.
Dope. Let them know, Ness. Let them know the story. Go ahead. Let them know.
That's real shit. No, you know, that's real shit. It's just facts.
And was it Rain Man was a part of that, or you was with RJ Payne?
Definitely. Rain Man was a part of that. He was in it. You know, he had a manager at the time. Rain Man was a little bit more further than I was as far as making alliances and having management. Like I had the production deal, but I didn't have management, so they was moving them around a lot. So they didn't feel as though that it fit with what he was trying to build and the situation that he wanted and the look that he wanted. So he stepped off on the show before it even got to a point where they was actually selecting to you know, to make the group actually.
So take us back when you got picked. Like when you got picked, and did you you had a relationship with Diddy before the audition? Or
no. The day I met Diddy is the day I auditioned. Yeah, I never had a relationship. I just had relationships with Kiss, DMX, and Timbaland.
Right. All right. Now take us back to when you got picked. You know, in the audition. You know what I mean, to make the band and whatever the case may be. Take us back.
No, I just like. I was late because I got the call. I was in Renton, PA, and you know that's a little ways from from New York. So I got the call at 11 o'clock in the morning to be there at 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't leave until 2 o'clock. So it took me another 2.5 or whatever hours to get up there. So I just walked past the long line and knocked on the window. Somebody came to the window with a clipboard. I asked them, they asked me what my name was. I told them, and they told me I was next. So from that anxiety, I was in line next. So it was like 3 people would have ahead of me that audition.
Wow.
They got 30 seconds each to spit. So when I got up there, they asked me to say my name and where I was from. I said E.Ness, Philly. And I wound up falling into a bunch of equipment that was on the stage because the stage was so little. And I never had seen somebody of Puff stature that, I mean, in front of me. And I fell into a bunch of shit. And I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. And I just used that to fuel my, whatever rhyme I came into my head. I just put so much anger and passion and aggression behind it, and they felt me. But as far as me falling, I thought it was no way I would get picked. They just like, what the fuck do they would want somebody that's falling into a bunch of shit and breaking shit? So it's crazy.
Right. That's a crazy story. So all right. Now, Diddy had picked everybody. You know what I mean? I think it was a fantastic group and shit. Like, let's talk about, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You banned from the hood, North Philly, you know, Southwest, well, all that, and now you're on the big stage. Now you would, you know, on TV. You on MTV. You know what I mean? You're making a band. You know what I mean? Now it's a reality show. Like let it take us back and let us know like how was you feeling, you know, about the fame and shit like that when you were just, you know, in the hood on DVDs and shit like that.
It was a roller coaster ride because I mean where we was taping the show at was New York, so it's real close to Philly. So I got a lot of time to spend in Philly, which was good and was bad. It was bad because I was supposed to be up there. I spent my whole life in Philly. Now that I actually get my shot, I'm supposed to be up there with the big dogs, making as much music and trying to have as much influence and impact on what I'm trying to do for the future as much as possible. I shouldn't be wasting no time in Philly. Everybody in Philly should have the understanding what's the bigger picture.
Right.
But, you know, being from the hood is certain stipulations and things that they put on you and certain clouds that they hold over your head that you got to come back and you got to be seen. You got to be out there with the hitters and things of that nature. So it's like I was split 2 different ways from friends and family and my professional career because I'm always trying to please everybody. So like I said, it was a roller coaster ride. So I went straight from the projects to being in front of cameras 24 hours. And we had the mic up as soon as we woke up and we couldn't take the mic off until we laid down. And even when we got back up and we wanted to interact with different cast members, we had to put the mic on. So it was real strict. We couldn't have no outside visitors unless it was proved by the MTV or stuff like that. So a lot of situations, me getting into the fights and all that, I was put in a lot of situations where I was in a depression state. I was away from home, even though we in New York and it's straight from Philly, and I'm in a group with 5 other people that I never really lived in a house with before. So those what you would see the things and the fights and all that carry on because they would take away our cell phones and do a lot of like real little troublesome shit that they know that's going to spark confrontation and conflict within with each other. And it just was real hard because off camera we was all good. As soon as the cameras start rolling, here come the bullshit.
Damn, and that's crazy, man. Oh man, just remember, but like you stood out. Let me say this. Inside looking out and shit. When I was a youngin', I always felt like you stood out more than anybody in the band and shit like that. I remember, you know what I mean, you being in the office and shit. That my hood. That I think that was the record you played for Diddy and shit like that, or whatever you played. I remember, but you know what I mean, you definitely stood out. And before we even go any farther and shit, man, speak on, you know, that cheesecake walk situation, because even when you got, you know, farther in your career, it was always that band brought up and shit. So speak on you walking for that cheesecake and shit like that.
I know a lot of people say, yo, I wouldn't have walked for the cheesecake. A lot of people, you know what I mean, it's the butt of everybody joke. I wouldn't walk for the cheesecake. But at that time in my life, I was on a run from, you know, law enforcement in Philadelphia. So I was actually on a show auditioning, trying to do that, and wasn't supposed to be up there. I had totally stopped reporting to my PO and all that. I was on probation from a felony drug charge that I had a year prior to that. So the whole situation was like the angels had spoken and the heaven was opened up, and this was my shot. So I had to get letterheads from Bad Boy and Puff personally to let, you know what I mean, the Philly judicial system know that I could be part of something big. And, you know, if they could, would they grant me to stay up there and be a part of that until the end result of it? And if I didn't make the show, that they would make sure I would get back to Philly safe and sound without no police contact. So I had Bad Boy and them rooting for me even before I even made the show. So I kind of knew that they were showing a lot of favoritism and a lot of love early on in the earlier stages, even when I was having legal trouble by being on the show and being up there doing a boot camp and all those things, and wasn't supposed to. And they was like in contact with my PO and people down in Philly and shit that I was supposed to be in contact with, and I wasn't, and they was making all that shit go away for me to be up there.
Wow. Oh man. So like you said, man, like, you know, y'all was one of the first like real reality shows and shit like that. Like I said, like you said, you know, y'all was all good, but when the cameras came on and shit, that's when it would look like, you know, it was friction and beef and things and shit like that. Me to say that is, I want you to I want to take us back. I want to take everybody back to the fight with you and Fred and shit. And I was rooting for you, man. I think you definitely carried it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, I was hyped at the time and shit, whatever the case may be. Like, if fuck that nigga up, fuck him up, whatever the case may be, because we was rooting for Philly and we saw, you know what I mean?
You know what? A lot of people like, yo, he lost the fight. Ness got fucked up. But see, you gotta understand, me and Fred was so cool. It was like, you know what I mean?
Right.
For one thing, every day we woke up, even when we had got selected to be in the band, they was telling us that we could go home. So I didn't want to hurt somebody that I had to do business with, that I had, if this shit was supposed to work, how I'm gonna be in here really trying to hurt somebody as if they like if they out in the street. So I really held back a lot, and that was just a bad decision on my choice. And when you're in a situation like that, when you're in motion and all that shit, and we from Philly, so we just go. I just never just thought that it would become of that magnitude and I would be seen in that light. And a lot of people pegged me from that as, oh, I was soft or I didn't rep Philly. But I tried to do exactly what everybody from the hood wanted me to do. Stay up there, not come the fuck home and be sitting on a pole and getting in trouble.
Right.
So, like, you know what I mean? So that was the whole thing about it.
And it, you know, and from the look of things and shit, you was trying to knuckle up, and he was trying to do a lot of grabbing and shit like that. I just want to you know, and we talking about everything for the, you know, I'm reading the comments, and you know, we gonna talk about because Ness is killing shit right now too. We gonna get there, but Ness have a story, so calm down, comments and shit like that. You know what I mean? But I wanted to take us back. You know, I just want to take us back, whatever. And shit real quick, you know what I mean? A little, just real quick, because this is legendary. And we got, like you on right now and shit. Hold up. Let me take it off. You know what I mean? Turn the volume up and shit. Because it looked like it was like, you know what I mean? Like I said, like it was real, y'all, it was real drama. It was definitely real drama. And, you know, it was a classic moment. So I just wanted to, and we got to back, and while you talking about it, I just want to take us back. Because that was a classic fight. Whatever the case may be. All right, well, whatever. Hold on, let me see. Here it go right here. You carried it. You carried it. You know what
Bottom
I mean?
Bottom line.
This
is what happened. This is what I'm gonna tell you. Because I don't like to reopen old wounds. Because me and Fred cool, and everybody always try to post a meme of me in the headlock and all that. I lost my footing. I had snap pants on it, and I got put in the headlock. I had to bite the nigga to get off me. They didn't show that on camera. When we got in the hallway, we duked it out. You know what I'm saying? Then he kind of sneak attacked me when I was in the studio. We fought like 500 times that day. It just wasn't those 3 times that you saw on TV. Like me and Fred was literally fighting all day. But it was to the point we were breaking shit. And then MTV was mad and Puff had to come. So it just was like, it was just chaotic, and I just wanted to put it past me. But a lot of people say I lost. Whatever, I can't win them all. I'm human. I've never been a sucker, and I just don't want to dwell on that. And I'm sorry, Philly, if I let y'all down for that.
No, no, no. You good. You good. Just the first
I
48.
try to redeem myself every day with how I carry it and how sturdy I keep it. And I mean, I know it was a bad look for us, but you
It
know,
wasn't a
that's
bad
my
look.
brother.
You
And
rumbled. You rumbled. You rumbled. It was a rumble. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I just want. It was the bid at the time, and we was all rooting for Ness and shit like that. So like, but one thing I can say that you held down and shit is when you battled Jay Mills. That part, you know, that was on Making a Band, and that part was so legendary. You and Jay Mills, it was a million. It was a lot of y'all. It was a lot of y'all around that pool table. Diddy was there. Y'all battled. Like, elaborate on that battle and shit. How many times y'all went? How many rounds y'all went and shit?
I mean, I knew Jay Mills because I was me and Poster Boy. Like I said, I was already going to New York with, you know what I'm saying, Black Key Productions and his manager, Hip Dog, Many Styles. He's from Yonkers, so that's how I met X and Kiss from my Yonkers connect. And we was going down Harlem, fucking with Poster Boy. Poster Boy was like one of the first Freestyle Friday champions that got signed and was fucking with Coup de Love and Mace and all these cats and Cardi, Pierre Cardin and all these dudes. So I was already like familiar with that. So like, like when a lot of people when we was in the show, they was kind of mad at me because I knew my way around in New York.
Right.
Because I was always going up there like so frequently, just chasing this shit and trying to be around it, and you know what I mean, getting tutelage from X or you know Kiss or whoever was at the game that time that felt like, you know, like they could lend some experience and some wisdom to me
Right. Right.
on
Right.
on the path that I was on.
Right. Like I said, man, that battle where y'all was going back to back. Y'all, Diddy was
But
hype.
I had knew Jay Mills from that situation from Poster Boy. So
Okay.
when we got in the ring, I didn't never knew because they kept saying some dude, and I never knew that who's they talking about. So we kind of met face to face. I knew of Jay Mills, but I never met him. I just knew he was cool with Poster Boy, but I never met him. I just was hearing his music. So we kind of met face to face in the ring. That was the first night that I had seen the person that Poster Boy was talking about, like that was part of the gang supposedly, and you know was. So that's how that happened. So I never seen him. I just heard his material and then heard that he was just killing, ripping everybody in New York. So I was like, fuck it. So they was like, yo, you gonna battle him and, you know, make sure you got your material. And they came and got me, and then, you know, the rest is history.
Yeah, it was history. That was definitely a good battle, and it was a part two. We gonna
Puff
get to
called
that.
it fucked up though. He called it. I made a slip, and he gave the first round to Jay Mills because of my little fumble and shit. Even though after I brought it back, I recovered the fumble and I kept killing it all the way through. But because he had the more flawless verse, he gave Jay Mills the first verse. Without that, I wouldn't have won a battle 2-1. Then we took it to sudden death.
Right.
You know, that's the controversial part with the whole fuck you rap and everything. And that's what spawned the whole lifelong Jay Mills, E.Ness type of thing.
Right, man. So, you know, and it definitely was a part two. Well, we're going to get to that, but we got to talk about more about the band's success. Because after that, you know what I mean? Like, talk about the success of, you know, the band, making a band, you know, in the different plats y'all had. And you know, talk about just the
But when the
success.
band dropped, we was hot, but, you know, like you got to understand, this is the first time they was doing this. They was like, this was uncharted territory. They never, this was his first deal with MTV. So this was like all the cheesecake and walking shit, all that was freestyle because they didn't know what to do with us. They just would mic us up and tell us to go to the studio, and Puff didn't know what to do and what to do with us because he had so much on his plate. So all that shit that you seen was like freestyle and shit. So when the band came out, it was top 20 Billboard, and we sold 225,000 units our first week.
Wow.
So I mean, it topped off at maybe 782,000. I'm not too sure, give or take 100,000. So we definitely like got a gold plaque for that, our first album, and which was my lead single, which is because I wrote the hook, was Bad Boy This, Bad Boy That, which was the driving force behind the whole album. So you, in a sense, you could say my single is the driving force that made the album go gold. That's why people bought the record. They believed in the record enough to buy it. It was off the singles that was put out, and mainly all the singles that were put out on the band, I had writing credits in the hook and in the verses. So that means I retained most of the publishing behind those records.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, that's a good question, Bam. Bam said, talk about how many flats you wrote for Puff. Did you ever write for Puff? Was you ever writing for Puff and
I
shit?
wrote on Puff Joint Press Play as a gold plaque. That's the album he dropped in 2005, 2006. He had singles like Last Night with Keisha Cole and Touch Me with a couple other cats, but that joint was certified platinum. So I got platinum writing credits. I wrote on an album called Diddy Rock. The beat was by Timbaland and it was featuring Shona and Twister. And he all actually just had a placement in last year, the MIB 4 movie, the Men in Black International movie.
Wow.
Starring that boy Chris Hemsworth, the boy that played Thor in the Avengers.
Wow. Heavy shit, man. Heavy, man. So speak on your relationship with Diddy. Speak on your relationship, like
my relationship cool. I'm telling everybody, like, if that is like the song that got the placement in the movie, that's probably like one of the only songs that made it through all the red tape that got actually a placement on the album. And that song, I wrote that song for him 15 years ago. If our relationship wasn't good, he would have told Sony to pick another record from his vast catalog. It wouldn't have been a record that I wrote for him.
Right.
That's just bottom line.
Dope. That's dope, man. That's super dope. So, after the band and everything, whatever the case may be, you was, what I mean, y'all definitely was doing your thing, whatever the case may be. Y'all was together. I think I dropped another album or so, whatever.
I was up there 7 years, only one album. When we got signed to the band, we was in Universal. I waited 2 years until they got their new situation with Warner Atlantic Music Group, and they gave me a solo deal. So I was up there for 7 years and only dropped one situation. I got 2 checks.
We talking about it all and shit. Like, well, was all right. Speak on the hurdles and shit, because I know, all business wasn't always right.
The hurdles was I was always had a tie to my producer, which is Black Key Productions. So I came in within a production deal, and it got rocky because some paperwork was thrown around, but all 3 parties decided to iron it out, and that's why I was invited to stay for another situation, which was my solo effort. So I was always had a production. I was never directly signed to Bad Boy or MTV. I came through the door with my own production deal. So when we got the deals for both, which was the MTV deal and the band and the group situation, it was signed to Black Key Production, and they paid Ness. Then when I got my solo deal, Bad Boy had to pay my production deal, and they paid Ness. So that's how that worked. I was always on boss time from day one.
Dope, Ness, dope.
But the downside is that when you ask for too much, sometimes God gonna give it to you. So you gotta ask God specifically what you want. You gotta give him the praises. Send the praises back up when you get it, because I asked for 100% of my publishing, which at that time I thought it was the biggest thing in the world. But when the company doesn't invest no money in your publishing, when they don't buy some in your publishing, that doesn't give them the incentive to make sure that your song is everywhere it needs to be to when your audience is big. So when you retain 100% of your publishing, then the company looks at you like a separate entity. So you would have to round up all your own music and your hit records and your alliances and your Swizz beats and all that, and the company just pay for the invoices. So you take away that power from them to have creative control over your situation, because you're retaining all the money behind all the publishing. I know I'm talking too fast for people that don't know what I'm talking about.
You're giving this game. You're giving the young cats.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
this is what we need. This what they need.
I don't want to sound too artsy and all that shit, but I'm just telling people about the wisdom. Like, everybody wonder why I'm not a millionaire. It's because the choices I made, certain management I had throughout the years, and it just was bad. I mean, just financial decisions. It wasn't nothing short of, when coming from the hood and we don't have nobody, no old heads, and nobody that's in business to help us manage our money. We spend it poorly, and we do make poor choices with money. And I fell down that same path, and I had to get it right. And I'm in my 40s now, and it's sad, and people say I'm old and I should stop, and I should stop doing this and doing that. But I feel it in my heart. I've always been a writer, and this is why I'm back. I love the art, I love the culture, and I love entertaining people. That's it. That's just the bottom line.
You do a hell of a job, man. And one thing about you, like you can adapt to the times and shit like that. Like, and I want to bring up you just dipping back. You know, I remember when you got right back into the battle and shit. Like, you know what I mean? I remember.
Right.
I think it was with DNA and shit. Was that no, not DNA? Was that your first? What was your first battle back? Coming back? I want to be correct.
It was
Was it
my
DNA?
sign.
Huh, was it
It
my
was my
sign?
sign.
All right, speak on it.
Yeah, my sign. '08.
Speak. Okay, oh wait, and speak on you and my sign. See, people don't know that you and my sign had a, you know what I mean, y'all, you know what I mean, y'all. Speak on that. Speak on that in your feedback.
Well,
What
my
battle?
son, like World Series of Hip Hop, they was somebody that I guess had an idea to bring the battles from outside on the corners and on the playgrounds and on the basketball courts inside and charge people, which was a hell of an idea. So Tech Nine battle T-Rex, Young Hot battle Murder Mook, Reed Still battle Lady Luck, and I battled my son. I was the headliner. So all
Wow,
those other dudes was on the undercard. Not
wow,
taking away nothing from them, but I was the head honcho because I was the one still signed at the time. This was '08. Like I said, I
right,
told you I was up there for 7 years. I was up there from '02 to '09.
right, right.
So like I battled my sign, and he was fresh
Yeah.
home, and he was well respected up there, and what I'm saying, they paid me a $5,000 advance off the 25 that I was supposed to get if I won, which I had won, and everybody had the text, which the text cost 99 cents. But the dude
Wow.
that did the whole thing ran off with the bread, and all we left with is the historic footage when the New York versus Philly joint. So that was like Smack. Smack was the actual camera person there recording the actual battles. So that's when
Right.
Smack had got the idea from that actual situation to bring it into buildings now and charge people. Because Smack
Dope.
was hired to do the camera work. And Smack was
Dope.
selling the DVD right after the battle was over.
Dope. Dope shit, man. Dope shit. Dope shit, man. That's you educating us. All right. So after the mindset, look, and then like we definitely know that everybody saying that you killed my son, whatever the case may be. My son ain't he's not a pushover. So I knew that was
That's
a
what I'm
off.
saying. My son hot as shit. And,
He was. Yeah.
just that day, there was so many people up there from Philly. Philly represented. We was up in New York, like real heavy. And, you know what I'm saying? If the Philly love, you could feel it. You could cut the tension with a knife in there. We just represented. And there was a lot of dudes in there. Mickey Fax was in there. Joe Buttons was in there. Cuban Links was in there. Rest in peace, Maserati, Fox. And like I said, motherfucking Smack was the one filming the whole shit. Every battle, every round, like they was the one hired to do the camera work that day.
Wow. That's dope. That's dope, man. So it's a point of time Ness had to adapt into the new battle world and shit like that. And that's what I
Right.
think. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about you adapting to that. And I just remember, you know what I mean, you trying to adapt to it, and you really was like, it ain't really work for you. Like, speak on it.
Yeah,
Speak
they
on that.
psyched me out, Mac. They psyched me out.
Talk about it. Let's talk about the behind the
They took
scenes.
me
Let's
out my
talk.
game and made me try to do the talkative shit, and that's not my style. So when they brought me back to do the Return of the Legends, which was Summer Madness 2, which is like is regarded one of the biggest battle rap events ever. That's when Loaded Lux brought the casket out, and I battled DNA. Puff was there, Q-Tip was there, Mickey Fax was there, King Los was there, a lot of people. Busta Rhymes was there, like it was epic. So like I had came there with the style and all that, with the whole battle rap talkative shit, and they got me right out of there. And I acted like a fucking asshole because I didn't feel as though like this is shit that y'all like. So like, I reacted poorly, like it was poor sportsmanship, and I didn't react. Puff told me that right after the battle, I went up there to see Puff. And he was like, Ness, you can't let him never see you sweat. So like to this day, Puff will call me out the blue, check on me, and see how I'm doing, and you know what I mean. A lot of people be like, well, if why he gonna do that and it ain't gonna put you on? Like I ain't. Puff not from Philly. Like we grew a relationship on business.
Right.
He's not my man. I didn't grow up with him. He's older than me. He loved my pen. And that's why he the one who kept me there all them years, because he respected my pen. He knew I was a passionate writer. And that Bad Boy, that's what they really do. And we was going through that whole making the band shit. They was making us write 2,500 word essays in 3 hours.
Wow.
Then making us train. Then we got to go back to the hotel. Then we had to write a $1,500 word essay. Then we had to train again. So they was really grilling us. And niggas didn't see that. They only showed a little portion of that. So I learned all these things from Puff. They was making us write 5 verses for every song. 5 verses for the first verse, 5 verses for the second verse, 5 verses for the third verse. So when you see all these freestyles that I'm doing, I wrote these joints in January. I'm just dropping bombs. I'm just dropping bombs on niggas. Like, and I don't diss nobody in these freestyles. I'm not throwing no subliminals. I'm not coming at no specific people or nothing like that. I wrote all these joints in January. I sit in the crib and just write shit for days and days at a time and just stack up shit like a motherfucking bear in hibernation time. So when you see all these freestyle niggas like, well, how you remembering this shit fast? Because I wrote this shit months ago. And I'm just sprinkling this shit for y'all. And that's what I do. I just entertain it. It's all entertainment. There's no side disses. There's no sneak disses on niggas. I just love to rap. I just love to put this shit together and entertain the people. And that's why I'm back in it. I don't pick no sides. I'm E-Neutron. I don't pick no sides. I don't got nothing to do with nobody. I love everybody. But what I can do is rap. That's what you're not going to not say. One thing you're not going to say about Ness is I can't rap. When you say that, you just hating. You just hating.
And I'm about to get there. We about to get there. We about to get to them freestyle that you cook. Because you definitely is cooking. You cooking. And you is putting
I ain't cooking. That's light. Yeah. I just told you they used to make us write 15 verses per song. So niggas be like, well, how you doing this? Because I've been conditioned to do this shit since 2002. Every time I hear a beat, I'm writing 8 verses to it. And I'm not trying to flex. This is just my work ethic. This is my passion. This is my love for it. I'm not flexing on nobody. I'm not trying to be nobody. I'm not trying to be the freestyle king. I'm not trying to be over nobody. I just love to rap. That's it. I love to write rhymes and be ill and be clever and be witty and be funny and be entertaining. That's it. I don't have no hidden agenda. I'm not trying to do nothing but entertain the people. That's it.
You doing a hell of a job, Ness. Keep your foot on the fucking gas. I gotta say this though, with the DNA situation, because we were speaking on that, I feel like you lost to the crowd more than anything. But fuck all that. I want to speak on, you know what I mean, you got a chance to, you know what I mean, first we gonna talk about your fucking, when you and Jay Mills did that part 2 and shit, and that fucking, that shit was legendary. The build up, even the build up, y'all, you know, going back and forth.
The face off and all that.
Face off. Talk about the face off and shit. Speak on the face off and shit.
I mean, you know, shout out to ARP, Rare Breed. He put that together and he was throwing a resolution card. You know, bill collecting Hitman, you know, since the fight and all that, bill collector with the shit on his head and all that shit was big. So I just was, you know, happy to be a part of a card where bill collecting fucking Hitman is battling on it. I'm still a fan of this shit at the end of the day. I watched this shit. So to just be on that card and be in a building and be alive and be healthy and be well enough to see that and be in good health and enjoy that and actually have a battle that means something to the culture, which will probably go down as one of the first battles some people ever seen in life when me and Mills battled on MTV all them years ago. And I'm not flexing. I'm just stating facts. I don't want everybody that's trying to say this. I'm not trying to say nothing but what's been documented on everyone's timeline. You can go back and see this shit. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
So that's how that came about. That's how that came about.
Right. And I'm just trying to speed things up because I know that we, you know, behind time. But the fucking it was legendary. I was going back to back. I felt like it was real personal too and shit. And I feel like you carried it very well, even when you pulled the fucking money out and shit. But when the battle came and shit, you backed everything up. You back the bars back to everything the fuck up, Ness. Like speak on.
See, now I got it, but see, like me and like Reed, they was waiting for us to come back to try to make us and look like in a bad light because we just been, you know what I'm saying, being so elusive and being so shrewd and being so, you know what I mean, just so like, you know what I mean, in and out and dipping in and out and just, you know what I mean, being so impeccable and being so finessing with it and. You know, once they got us where they can get us at up there, and you know, so but we all came back. Me, Rain Man, Reed, we all came back to the ring, and our first matches back on that wasn't too well, and we had to get it right and get some of the sauce that they use today and mix it in with the shit that we was known for and make it a combination. And now the people was loving it and they're receiving it, and all of us is just. is just doing excellent on so many levels, and I just love it.
Right. And one thing I can say about Ness got a lot of part twos. You don't duck you don't duck wreck at all, man. Even the part two, you versus DNA. Speak on that. I feel like you like in the
I
whole
don't duck
city
no wreck,
came
man.
out. The whole
K-Shine came there, everybody, because let's get into the negative part. A lot of people, Ness lost to K-Shine in Philly. Yeah, I fucking did. You know why? Because K-Shine was on a motherfucking hell warpath for the fucking champion of the year and shit. And that nigga wasn't taking no days off. And I underprepared for K-Shine. And yes, I will go on record to say, yes, I lost that battle. But ever since that, undefeated. And before that, it was undefeated. I ran into one of them niggas that's going to give you exactly what you're looking for. And he came to Philly and showed up. And my only excuse for that, if you want to say it's an excuse, is a lot of these big top tier battle rappers come to Philly on these leagues and they kind of look down. And I'm not singling out no specific league. And they take off. They write light. They don't come prepared. They just look at it as a check. K-Shine was one of the actual dudes that respected me and respected the craft and respected the league and came with 3 whole prepared rounds. And that's why he defeated Ness in Philly. And that's the sole reason.
Right. But we want to speak on you doing his partner dirty. Y'all doing a part 2, you and DNA. Am I correct?
Me and DNA did a part 2 because he wanted to do in Philly, and that was real big of DNA. So when Philly tried to boo DNA, I didn't want that to be the sole reason why I won the battle. So at the end of the 3rd round, he tried to go into a freestyle run. This was on Stiz Battle League. This is when we still doing it up UE Records. Shout out to my man Tim Dog. But you know what I mean, it was an epic battle, and for a minute it could have went either way. But the 3rd round, when he tried to do the Philly style, he had caught momentum, then he slowed down, and then I guess he tried to freestyle, and the crowd wasn't fucking with it, and then they tried to boo him. But I jumped in the crowd or stopped the crowd from booing, going really tipping on him because I didn't want that to be the end and tell our story of our rematch.
That's
and,
real,
you know,
right. That's
Champion
dope.
and Jake Black and all them said I could have went harder, but, you know, waiting for 7 years for a rematch is just long. And you lose the fight that you had when the initial shit went down. So I came I thought I came. I should have came, and I thought I won 2-1. I thought I beat the 1st round and the 3rd round. He got the 2nd round, the finish.
I got
so
you
I think
in it.
it's 1-1. He won the first match, and I won the 2nd match in Philly. But know this.
That was a dog fight.
Duly noted. DNA wanted to battle me in Philly. He didn't want to battle me again in New York. He wanted to battle me in Philly. And you don't get top tier artists, battle rappers like him that's willing to take so big of a chance of losing like that. And that was big of him. So when they started to boo, I wanted to reward him.
I saw that.
For being sturdy. Being sturdy.
And niggas don't do shit like that. Niggas let their cities get over it, and battle be all biased, whatever the case may be. So I definitely respect you for doing that shit, whatever the case may be. And I
know the world. I know the world split, man. I know the world split. People respect violence. They respect a lot of aggression, and they respect a lot of shit. I just know being sturdy lasts you longer and take you a longer way than being goofy and being an asshole. And that's why I'm still around.
Right.
Everybody want to know what I've been doing. I've been doing the same thing that I've been doing since 2002. Dropping music, battling, jumping in the ring with these young dudes, mixing it up, clunking them in the head, dropping little songs here and there, and helping the new generation. That's it. And being sponsor and supporter for that. And positivity. That's it. That's it, bro.
We about to end. It's about to cut us off. But let me tell you this, Ness. Keep doing your thing. You're killing them fucking freestyles. You're coming off every beat. You're killing every fucking beat. You holding it down for Philly. When people were scared to hold it down and was scared to take them fucking rides and shit like that, Ness took them rides. King of the Dot. URL. You know what I mean? I just want the people to know how much you put on the line and shit. And you know what I mean? And
they're not gonna give me my flowers. They're not gonna give me my flowers, and that's cool with me. I'm content with that. If I go today or tomorrow, I'm glad with the, you know, I'm forsaken in Philly, and I get it. I understand. I had my window. I didn't go straight to the moon. I didn't become a multi-millionaire. I didn't become what they thought I was supposed to become in the window that I had to become it. And I understand, but God gave everybody